Hi, it's Katrina. From freakish fish that will try to swallow you to some illegal surprises, here are 11 of the craziest things ever caught. Number 11. Wels Catfish. In February 2015, an Italian man named Dino Ferrari captured a 280-pound Wels catfish in the country's Po Delta. When the picture hit the internet, many people believed images of the catch were photoshopped. The fish was so huge, the pictures just didn't seem real. But a fact checker for the Florida Times-Union verified that the photos were in fact genuine. It took Ferrari 40 minutes to reel in the 8-foot, 9-inch long fish using a spinning reel. In doing so, he set a record for the type of tackle used, according to David Valla of Ferrari's sponsor company Sportex Italia. However, amazingly enough, Ferrari's catfish wasn't the largest ever caught. Who that title goes to is a matter of debate. In 2005, someone captured a 9-foot-long, 646-pound Mekong giant catfish in a remote village in Thailand. It was as big as a grizzly bear, and it's possibly the largest freshwater fish ever caught. However, the International Game Fish Association recognizes the 2009 capture of a nearly 342-pound laulau, or piraiba, in the Brazilian Amazon as the record holder. Meanwhile, Men's Journal reported around the time of Ferrari's capture that a 9.1-foot, 300-plus-pound Wels catfish, also from Italy's Po Delta, was the largest ever recorded capture. Wels catfish are native to northern and eastern Europe and are said to reach lengths of around 10 feet and weigh about 300 pounds. They are now becoming a dangerous invasive species in places like Spain, the UK, and Canada. Number 10. Water dragons. A fisherman named Alexey got quite the shock when he caught something really strange. He was fishing in the River Irtysh, which flows through Russia, China, and Kazakhstan, and when he posted pictures online of his catch, everyone agreed that he had caught the mythical underwater dragon. In reality, they were pike. Pike are long carnivorous fish with a mouthful of very sharp teeth. They already look scary, but usually they don't have horns. But his did! One fish with 2 horns weighed 12 kilograms, and the smaller one weighed 7 kilograms, but had 4 horns. Everyone warned him not to eat the mutant fish in case they were poisoned, but he didn't seem to mind because he ended up eating them anyway. Are you impressed? Would you have eaten them? However, he did keep and dry the heads, which can now be seen on display in his garage. The biggest pike ever caught was in Germany in 1986 when angler Lothar Lewis caught a pike that weighed 25 kilograms, but they did not have horns. So what caused the pike to look the way they did? Perhaps it is a genetic mutation of some sort, or pollution from a nearby mine. Or maybe underwater dragons are real. Number 9. The Black Marlin. People were in awe when in late 2018, a fishing crew off the Queensland, Australia coast captured a 1,433-pound black marlin. It took fisherman Rob Crane and his crew about 2 hours to reel the creature in. When they noticed the fish had died, they decided to bring it to shore to see if it was a record breaker. It came up less than 30 pounds short of the 1,558-pound title holder and was the largest black marlin caught in Australia in over 3 decades. Crane estimated that the fish was around 30 years old. But not everyone was impressed. Some animal welfare activists took issue with the practice of catching fish and taking them back to shore because they felt it put the creatures' lives in danger. There are some misconceptions surrounding this notion, especially since the fish Crane captured died during his struggle with it, not from being loaded onto his boat and taken ashore. According to marine biologist Sam Williams of the University of Queensland, who specializes in the study of marlins, fish that are captured and released have a survival rate of over 90%. Williams also pointed out that fishers who catch and release tend to treat fish with great care and learn as much about the creatures as possible. They are out there every day trying to sustainably tag and release them so more can be learned later, he told ABC's Sunshine Coast. To add to that, the Queensland Game Fishing Association is predominantly tag and release, according to its vice president, Joshua Cox. Do you ever go fishing? Ever caught anything good? Let me know in the comments below. Number 8. Calico Lobster. In October 2018, a fisherman's net nabbed an extremely rare calico lobster in Pine Point, Maine, and it ended up at a nearby restaurant. The odds of catching a calico lobster are 1 in 30 million. Staff at Scarborough Fish and Lobster named the unlikely specimen Friendly Kruger after the infamous Freddy Krueger. They separated him from the other lobsters, and he became somewhat of an attraction at the restaurant. The lobster has become more of a pet than a potential snack, employee Anthony Belanger told Food and Wine. 2 months later, another calico lobster turned up at the Ocean City Seafood Fish Market in Maryland in a delivery from Maine. The owner named her Eve and spared her from ending up on someone's dinner plate. He knew she was special but was unaware of exactly how rare she was until he contacted the National Aquarium in Baltimore. The aquarium agreed to help the owner find Eve a new home, possibly at another aquarium where she could live safely and where people can enjoy her unique pigmentation. While calico lobsters are rare, there are more uncommon types. One of them is the orange and brown split-colored lobster, which has a 1 in 50 million chance of being captured. Albino lobsters, which carry a likelihood of 1 in 100 million of being caught, are the rarest. Number 7. Giant Goliath Grouper. The Goliath grouper is an enormous ambush predator native to the east coast of the U.S. down to Brazil and the eastern Atlantic Ocean off the coast of Africa. This sea creature has been appropriately named due to its large size. They can weigh almost 1,000 pounds and measure over 8 feet long. Since they are quite tasty, they used to be caught often for dinner until they almost went extinct. These fish move slowly, but don't underestimate them. In July 2018, a 500-pound Goliath grouper swallowed a shark whole. Captain Jimmy Wheeler of Everglades Fishing Company took a group out fishing when someone caught a 3-foot shark. A large shadow appeared, and it turned out it was a grouper. It opened its mouth and just sucked in the shark. It was still on the fishing line, so now it was a fight between the fisherman and the grouper. It spat out the shark, which the fishermen were planning to catch and release. The same grouper later swallowed a manta ray. They have been known to try and swallow human divers, but this is probably just because they are curious or very, very hungry. So if you encounter one in the sea, try to stay away from its mouth. In 1961, Lynn Joyner was able to successfully hook a member of the Goliath grouper family at Fernandina Beach in Florida. It was the biggest Goliath grouper ever caught and turned out to be 680 pounds. This accomplishment was also included in IGFA's Distinguished World Record. This record is probably safe because the Goliath grouper has been a protected species since 1990. Number 6. Seaweed. A Florida man named Jorge Bustamante was out fishing for his birthday in July 2018 when he made a rather unexpected and illegal catch. The man hoped to capture a kingfish or mahi-mahi off the waters of Pompano Beach, roughly 11 miles north of Fort Lauderdale, but instead he reeled in a tightly wrapped 2-pound brick of marijuana. While such a find is unusual, it's not completely unheard of, especially considering the high levels of drug trafficking in and around coastal Florida. Residents even have a nickname for this type of discovery, a square grouper. Bustamante turned the package over to the Coast Guard, who confirmed that it contained marijuana. But first, he posed for pictures with his proud catch, which he jokingly referred to on social media as his early birthday gift from Pablo Escobar. The agency did not know where the package came from or why it ended up in the ocean. Number 5. Hammerhead Shark. In July 2018, Texas fisherman Poco Cedillo fought for an hour and 15 minutes before reeling in a 14-foot hammerhead shark off South Padre Island. He referred to his capture as the shark catch of multiple lifetimes, and one he only dreamed about. Cedillo and his fishing mates rushed to measure and photograph the shark, who was noticeably exhausted after losing her battle against the fishing gear. They spent between 3 and 5 minutes doing this and skipped measuring her girth or fork length and didn't try tagging her. Their goal was to return her to the water as quickly as possible to save her life, but it was unfortunately too late. After over a half hour of holding the shark up in the water in an attempt to release her, she sadly passed away. The crew did what they believed was the next best thing and donated her meat to the Good Samaritan Rescue Mission in Corpus Christi. Not surprisingly, Cedillo's catch was met with controversy from people who believed the shark's death was unnecessary and preventable. He defended his actions on social media and wrote a letter to the Wichita Eagle asserting that he didn't kill the shark for fun. "People that know me know that I release every single shark I catch, so this hurts," he wrote in a Facebook post. What do you think? Is catching and releasing marine creatures an ethical practice, or should people leave them alone? Let me know in the comments below. But first, be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Number 4. Gigantic Gator. The 5-member Stokes family of Camden, Alabama set both the world and state records for the largest alligator ever caught in August 2014. Working together along the Alabama River, they spent 5 hours stalking, combating, and finally killing the 15.75-foot, 1,011-pound gator. He was so massive, he broke the winch system that Alabama wildlife and freshwater fisheries biologists normally use. A backhoe was required to lift and weigh the reptile. An analysis of the gator's leg bone determined that he was between 24 and 28 years old at the time of death. He had a 16-inch snout and measured 70.5 inches around at the stomach. This capture easily outranked Safari Club International's previous world record holder for the largest American alligator ever legally killed. In 2007, a man named Justin Wells of Bossier, Louisiana, hunted a 14.7-foot, 880-pound specimen near Lufkin, Texas. He was granted the world record title in June 2014, just months before the Stokes family seized it. Number 3. A wolffish. In September 2015, Japanese fisherman Hiroshi Hirasaka caught a massive Bering wolffish off the coast of Hokkaido, Japan's northernmost island. Vice writer Emiko Hozuka likened the creature to a cross between a grumpy grandpa and a monster, and the internet gave way to rumors that harmful radiation from the Fukushima disaster caused its gargantuan size and strange appearance. But there is no scientific evidence that Fukushima fallout can or will cause fish or any other animals to become uncharacteristically monstrous. In the event of radiation effects on wildlife, researchers would expect animals to be smaller than usual, according to Dr. Timothy Mousseau, a radiation specialist at the University of South Carolina. Very few mutations lead to extra-large size, he explained in a 2015 interview with International Business Times UK. Instead, they grow less efficiently, they are less capable of catching food, and they tend not to live as long. The fish measured an astounding 6.5 feet. It's the largest ever caught specimen of its species. Based on its size, which far exceeds the average length of 3 feet for a Bering wolffish, Hirasaka's catch was a very old fish. Number 2. A very big birthday gift. In 2015, a Hawaii resident named Guy Kitaoka nearly broke the world record for the largest blue marlin ever caught when he reeled in a 1,368-pound specimen off the Big Island's Kona coast. He was originally trying to catch ahi but had no luck and switched his bait to a live skipjack, which is attractive to blue marlins who feed largely on tuna. Less than a half hour later, the colossal fish took hold. During the ensuing hour-and-a-half-long struggle, Kitaoka's catch nearly stripped all the line from his electric reel. At one point, the marlin jumped from the 20-foot skiff he was fishing from. He radioed to let the captain, Daryl Omori, know that the men had snagged a grander, which is the term used for a marlin over 1,000 pounds. Until then, they had estimated the fish's weight at around 300 pounds. It was just 8 pounds short of the title holder, a 1,376-pound blue marlin caught off the Kona coast in 1982. Kitaoka's capture was also the largest of the species caught off Kona in 23 years. But there is a catch to this catch. Because Kitaoka was using an electric reel, he wouldn't have qualified for the world record, even if the fish beat the record holder by weight. But it's impressive nonetheless. Even in the waters off Kona, which attract the world's largest Pacific blue marlins, other captains were stopping to catch a glimpse of the fish. Kitaoka caught the fish shortly before turning 57 and referred to it as a great birthday gift. Number 1. Albino Lobster. Remember this one? Albino lobsters are the rarest of them all, with a 1 in 100 million chance of one being caught. The condition is caused by a genetic mutation called leucism, in which the animal's shell completely lacks pigment. Because of this, they do not turn red when they are boiled, although most people consider these creatures to be too pretty to eat. It's more unlikely for someone to come across just one albino lobster than they are to drown or be struck by lightning, according to the Lobster Institute at the University of Maine. The odds of 2 albino lobsters being discovered in 1 week haven't been calculated, perhaps because such an occurrence was literally unheard of until it happened nearly 6 years ago. In August 2014, lobsterman Joe Bates caught one of these oddities off the Maine coast. Less than a week later, lobsterman Brett Philbrick captured another. Both were too small for harvesting, but due to their rare condition, the Maine Marine Patrol allowed them to be brought ashore rather than tossed back into the water, which is what's normally done with lobsters their size. One of them ended up at the Maine State Aquarium in Booth Bay Harbor, and the other went to Brooks Trap Mill in Thomaston, which houses a tank full of diverse marine life. In 2018, another albino lobster was caught off the Maine coast, this time by fisherman Mike Billings. It was too small to keep, and instead of asking the Maine Marine Patrol for an exception, Billings took a few photos to post on Facebook and tossed it back into the ocean. Thanks for watching! Which catch impressed you the most? Let me know in the comments below, and be sure to subscribe if you haven't already to join the Origins Explained family. See you later, alligator!